Alrighty then, we are back with more Nintendogs. We have our little doggo here, so let's go say hi. First things first, gotta give a little pet. So, last stream... Puppy, last stream, I did quite a bit, actually. And then between streams, I kept playing, because this game tracks real time, so I had to continue to take care of my little Nintendog. So we have a new collar. I found that on a walk. Yeah, stats aren't gonna be good, because I've been gone for like a day at this point. I found dog treats at one of the discount stores. Stores do rotate supplies. We'll go over that momentarily. I also found a bunch of stuff on walks, which I'll go over. So, first things first, I found a bunch of, like, toys to play with, which is fun. What else? I found a music record. The records are interesting, actually. Composed by an unknown, this is one of 6 mystical records that evoke nature. So blue records evoke nature as the game describes it. What that means is they actually have an effect on dogs. There's one song that actually scares dogs. There's one that I think makes them howl. This one puts them to sleep. But I also had a keyboard. Touch the icons for different instruments and play music. Touch the camera button to switch the dog you want to play for. So this is a functional keyboard, albeit just a basic-ass scale. But if I'm not mistaken, it's like, can you actually record to actually, like, have your voice, like, make yourself a Vocaloid, basically? I don't know if that's how that works. It's been a hot minute. Well, I also misspoke a bit last stream about Nintendogs plus cats specifically, just because it has been a hot minute since I played that one, and I also just didn't play that one very much compared to the other, compared to this game. So there are actually 3 tournaments in that game, but the problem is with those tournaments, one of them is different. Disc and obedience should still be there. However, if I'm not mistaken, the agility trial is replaced with something else, where it's like, you have like a little lure that you have to like guide your dog with. However, I don't remember anything else about it, and I would have greatly preferred the agility trials. Anyway, let's go for another walk. I'm gonna go over some more of the little toys we collected, just because, let's be real, we got a lot of stuff to do. So, off stream, I also greatly increased my dog's stamina by walking so much. I should go down to that store just to see what they have in stock today. Probably. This is very clunky, actually, with my current method of capture. So, I also forgot that there are 2 parks. There's usually going to be one that's empty and another that actually has dogs playing in it. So it depends on if you want to give your dog training or social time. In this case, I want to give my dog training, so we will instead go to the empty park. Wow, we basically maxed out that route. Our dog is going to be very tired. Sophie's going to be really worn out. We also need to double check some tricks and maybe teach her some new tricks as well. So yeah, this will probably, question mark, be one more stream. But we might go and do another stream if there's enough to warrant it. But I actually don't know if there will be enough to warrant another stream. Again, the game kind of just sort of gets into a groove after a bit, to the point of like, yeah, you're just kind of doing the same thing over and over again, in all fairness, which is, I mean, like actual pet ownership. I also figured out some other stuff about this section where you have other trainers. It's PV out for a walk. You and Maria have a chance to talk. I found that the more that I take my dogs for a walk, the farther my dog wants to go. We walk all over town now. I think I've seen that one. This will auto end. I forgot about that. But you can also kind of guide your dog to interact. Sometimes they'll get along. This is a case where they are not getting along. Sophie doesn't seem to like Petey very much. So other times they'll be all like cuddly. But Sophie doesn't seem to get along with like most of the dogs in this neighborhood. The neighborhood's also randomized by file. Like when you start a new game, it's basically divided into 4 quadrants, and the actual layout of the quadrants can vary from file to file. It's also worth mentioning that you have the little marked question marks, but you also have unmarked spaces where like trash or presents can show up. So those are usually apparently also fixed from what I gather, so people like online from what I was seeing still recommend checking those spots even if they're not deliberately marked, like this one. What do we have? We got a tricolor ribbon. This fashionable multicolored ribbon gives off a distinctly French flavor. Hell yeah. But it's fun. Yeah, I know it's fun, but also, like, I don't know if I can really, like, manage being a Nintendog streamer forever. I think there's a limit to how much I can play this game, unfortunately. Which is a bummer, because it's very cute, of course. And it causes me to just kind of not really care too much about my dogs long term. And again, they will end up in bad shape if you leave them unattended. They can't, you know, they will keep living, but they might be like really dirty and very famished if you don't play regularly. So, yeah, I think that's part of my issue with Nintendogs is the time model of it, and just having to be on the ball with this game constantly, like having a real pet. So I almost feel like having a real pet is somewhat better though, because you can actually like physically interact with it. But it's not like you can really do that with a screen, a doggo on a screen, to be honest. It's not quite as tactile as having an actual pet, though obviously less direct work, like I'm not having to actually clean up after a dog. So yeah, pros and cons, obviously. Virtual pet games are very popular. The most popular franchise before this was mostly on PC, I think. It was the Pets series by Ubisoft. It's Poppy out for a walk. Me and Tom have some time to chat. Bet your Corky really likes people, doesn't it? Those dogs are quick learners too, I hear. I don't know if she really is, but we can go over that later. I don't know if she'll get along with Poppy. The answer is up for debate. And the answer is no. Again, she just does not get along with most dogs, which is interesting. There was like one that she got along with. It might have been Petey, just on a different occasion. But I do feel like Nintendogs plus Cats was a bit of a missed opportunity. Obviously, one of the big selling points was the 3D. But I feel like it kind of was just more of the same. It's kind of like, as much as, like, people complain a lot about the Switch era of just like sports games that were just extremely iterative in very small ways that didn't make a huge difference and also way more expensive. It's kind of my issue with Nintendogs plus Cats is content-wise, it's about on par with this game. It just looks prettier. You reach the park. The field here is very big. It's a perfect place to practice for disc competitions. The last time we came here, the park was... we went to the other park and it happened to be very full. Oh, hi. But we do want to actually practice if we want to partake in the other competitions. So for example, we have a frisbee. So we gotta throw it and then hope she catches it. I've trained her a lot off stream just to speed up this playthrough a bit. As a heads up, so for example, she's pretty competent at this. Not always, but pretty competent at this. Also, typically at the start, your dog, 1, will not bring it back on their own, and 2, won't let go of it very easily. So, again, that's one of the things you have to basically train them for. But yeah, I do enjoy this game. You also have the different, like, parts of town in Nintendogs plus cats, you have little signs that branch off, and you have to go up to the sign to pick which route you want to go on. From what I was reading, Nintendogs plus cats also doesn't have the time limit for walks. Nintendogs plus cats apparently also has a weight system too, where you can actually overfeed or underfeed dogs, and they will be like classified as like heavier or lighter, depending on if you overfeed them or not, or underfeed them. Which can actually affect competitions if your dog is like overfed. You got a flower collar. This pink and white design is very popular with female puppies. Type accessories. Hell yeah, we might actually swap to that though. I have the lucky collar because supposedly it increases the chance of rare items. One of the main rare items is a book about Jack Russell Terriers. That is how you unlock Jack Russell Terriers as a viable dog breed at the kennel. I think there's also a system where you can find like a firefighter helmet to get a Dalmatian, but I can't actually remember if that's the case or not, or if I'm just misremembering. We got the pole rope already, so we're just gonna nope out of here. I have like 99 of most items. That should last us for most of this playthrough, in all fairness. But yeah, you can't actually hold the leash too at the touchscreen. A lot of times I don't find it necessary. If you want, you can actually make her run the whole way. Obviously, that'll tuck her out really quickly. So I tend to not do that now. As a kid, I was impatient and did that way too much. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else to really mention about the game at this point. We've gone over most of the main fundamentals, so again, I might just focus on trying to get through the competitions, chill as well. Maybe... Oh wow, she didn't do anything. That's interesting. Maybe teach her some new tricks too. You can only do 3 tricks a day. I think the only reason we got 4 last time was because of me... Well, the one was a tutorial, so... They give you 3+. You got a tissue box. This is just a box of tissues. It's good for runny noses, not wet puppy noses. So yeah, there's also a different clocks, as I've mentioned before. One is called the Clover Clock, and supposedly that also can increase luck, but it takes luck even finding all of these items. There's a lot of items to collect in this game. A lot of them are just for selling. You returned home. Sophie seems a little tired. That is valid. We walked a long way with those little short corgi legs. Let's see how her stats are doing, even though we just fed her. I feel like compared to actual animals, the hunger stats reset very quickly. So just for the sake of example, again, you can press the face buttons to zoom in other times, but we have the platinum collar. I think I've had the green leather collar too. Got a purple collar. The lucky collar where I showed. We have a flower collar and we have the Japanese print collar. I actually think I will go with the flower collar for now. For the time being. And etc. We have a bunch of things. We got a dog photo. The dogs apparently don't care much for this photo. Disposable camera. We found last time we got a Lisa doll. This cute doll is all the rage with young pups. So we got a little dolly. I didn't mean to just throw it at her dog like that. She is not interested. Sophie! Hi. Good dog. Good dog. Roll over. Roll over. Might as well get started on this. Puppy. Ooh, wrong way. Sit. 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 Lie down. Good dog. God, this is slightly unwieldy. Not exactly being cooperative, but it's fine. No. Lie down. Oh. Yeah. Now, do this. Roll over. Roll over. Yeah, I was gonna say she's probably gonna nope out now. Sophie! Sophie! Aw, good dog. You can't really train cats too, so the cat gameplay I think is a lot more limited. Sit down. Oh. Shake. Sit down. Sit. Lie down. Lie down. Roll over. Roll over. Oh. She's losing interest very quickly. Sit. 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 Oh my god. Again, I was praising the voice responsiveness last time, but this time I think I'm struggling because I don't remember the exact intonation with which I said the words last time. Sit. Good. Lie down. Oh. Now, roll. One more. Roll over. Roll over. There we go. Oh, the little paws moving there. Voila. Again, it is remarkably impressive for an early DS title that this does work as well as it does. It doesn't work great sometimes, but it gets the job done more often than not, which again is almost kind of impressive. Alright, it's been a few minutes. We hung out with the dog. Let's try a disc competition. See how this goes. I think the dialogue's gonna be very similar to last time. Wow, there's like no one here. Battle for Supremacy is nearing its finale. Here to cover the action, blah blah blah. I think Archie is someone you can come across in the world, though obviously you don't see the other trainers like with a character model or anything. Having earned 12 points as John's Corgi Sasha. Archie, what did you think of Sasha's performance? Well, Ted, I've got to say that is one sharp Sharpay. As a Corgi, Archie, how long have you been sitting on that joke anyway? Now the goal here is to earn at least 6 points. Any dog that does that will move up to the open class. We're finally down to our last entrant. Now it's the Corgi Sophie, and its trainer is Yuna. So Archie, what do you think of Sophie? A great dog, you know, I really need to practice my autograph. My fans. Yes, so with that, let's begin. Let's cut off as always. So you have the little colored zone. Oh my god. You have the little colored zones to indicate, like, what each zone is worth, basically. So we're already clear for the Open Cup. But hey, let's just crush the competition. We're here. Why not? So yeah, each zone is worth a different number of points. But yeah, also the speed at which they run will vary depending on how trained up they are. So like, she'll bolt after it a lot more. So yeah, we already run. We could just do nothing and still win at this point. If we so desired. Oh, well that was just bad all around. But yeah, it is a case of like trying to get the finesse of throwing it, which is easier said than done sometimes. Like the right throwing angle and everything. Ooh, that's a weird arc. Never mind, she got it. 20 points, not bad. That marks the last for all of today's participants. You gotta flex though, like absolutely, we gotta flex on them. Time to announce our winners. In third place with a total score of 9 points, we have Megan's Shih Tzu Charlie. Taking second place with a score of 12 points is John's Corgi Sasha. In first place, winning today's event with a score of 20 points, ladies and gentlemen, Yuna's Corgi Sophie. Congratulations for this victory, blah blah blah. Now that was quite a show. TED Talk about exhilarating. I'm breathless. That wraps things up for today, folks. So yeah, not bad. That's a big-ass trophy for this dog. Hell yeah. But again, you can only do 3 contests per day. So hypothetically, if I wanted to do all the cups, I would literally have to play the game. That's actually a good question. Accomplishments. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you win first try, you'd have to play for at least 5 days to win all the cups. But that assumes you win first try. So, needless to say, I'm not gonna do that, probably. That is a lot of work. So we do need to teach her spin, so how do we do that? There are a couple more tricks like beg, which is very difficult. You have to actually train your dog to stand up, and jump, which is very difficult, I find. You have to, like, when the dog is, like, actively trying to play, you have to, like, tap above them in such a way that will get them to jump. So, to teach them to spin, you have to grab their tail and then hold it to the side. What happened there? I don't know what happened there. She just kind of stopped. Spin. Oh. She keeps cutting herself off with tricks because she's hearing me talk. What is happening? I've never seen this happen before. I'm just gonna do this. So I guess I just can't say anything for a moment, so, yeah. Spin. Spin. Like this? Yeah, like that. The camera did move, but... Spin. Spin. Wow, that was fast. What happened there? That was like second try. It is also recommended to hold the tail in the same direction every time, so she actually will spin the same way. If you try to teach her the opposite direction, she can get a little bit confused from what I was reading. So we actually should be set for the obedience trial. However, we need to actually practice first, so we don't wash out here. See, like, again, I'm not like a huge dog person, but I do appreciate dogs. I just know they're a lot of work, and I do not think I'd have that kind of patience in real life. I like interacting with dogs, like... Actually, I have a story. One time I was at, like, some kind of, like, event for a family member. And, the relatives who were hosting that event had like a big ass dog, and I opened the... I was like 8 years old, and I've always been a very small person relative to other people. However, when I opened the door, or when they opened the door, I think I was standing like in front of my parents. However, the dog, there was a big ass like Doberman, like eye level with me, which was like a very terrifying experience. I don't think I ever quite got over that as a kid. Truth be told, I don't think I ever quite recovered. If I'm being real, I might try the obedience trial because I'm a little bit more cagey about how this will go. We'll see. This also means I won't be able to talk very much. This is a fancy ass theater. For a dog show of all things. The canine drama. Well, a bit more of a crowd. Hey, our current leader having earned 8.91 points is John's Corgi Sasha once again. So what stood out the most in Sasha's performance today? Well, Ted, I'd have to say it was the sweet scent of shampoo wafting from that pup's coat. Was that hibiscus medley. Now the goal here is to earn at least 7.91 points. Any dog that can do that will move up to the expert class, down to our last entrant. Yeah, I do appreciate all the reminders. What's your impression of Sophie? Well, her nose looks quite moist, Ted, so I'd say she's very healthy. Spin. Lie down. Hell yeah. I'm shaking. Roll over. Roll over. Roll over. Roll over. Oh my god, barely. Ugh, that was too close. Roll over. Spin. 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 Roll over. Oh my god, we're barely making it. I don't like this. Lie down. Phew. Okay. Lie down. Roll over. Spin. Spin. Shake. 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 Damn. Okay. I mean, that wasn't bad. That was pretty decent overall. Also, it's important to wash your dog first, because the cleanliness stat does matter for this. What was I worried about? We did very well. She's earned herself a total score of 9.46 points. Those are very high artistry points. That's what happens when you're looking good, Ted. Take it from someone who knows. I'm pretty sure in the later ones you have to hold like a trick for like 15 seconds or something. Like, we ain't doing that on stream. That's gonna be difficult. In third place, with a total of 8.41 points, we have Ted's Poodle, Sammy. Taking second place with a score of 8.91 points is John's Corgi, Sasha. Maybe it's not the same Ted and Archie that you can come across in walks. A score of 9.46 points, ladies and gentlemen, Yuna's Corgi, Sophie. Congratulations! For this victory, Sophie earns a gold trophy and $200 in prize money. You ever wonder what's going through a dog's mind after wins, Ted? I think I can sum it up in one word. Treats, and lots of them. Next up for you is the expert class. That wraps things up for today. Hell yeah. Again, I don't think I have it in me to do any of the other obedience trials, just because those are very difficult and also require tricks that are very hard to teach. So let's go over some of the other things I've collected in the meantime. We got the bark ball. It makes little noises. This ball makes noise when it bounces. Rambunctious puppies love it. Hell yeah. We have a question mark block. Even if you hit it, nothing pops out. Too bad. So yeah, we just got a block from Mario here. I want to say it's possible to get a Mario and Luigi hat as well. As like an item. I don't know if she can do much with that. She's a small dog. We have the yellow sponsor disc, which is like a special frisbee that you can find on walks. The barrel, if you will. Oh my god. This toy is great for play in wide open areas. The official disc comes in 2 colors. Also, hi Dwankai, welcome on in. Again, we're just kind of messing around with Nintendogs a little bit more. The bubble blower, I can't get to work with the setup for some reason. I don't know why, because the mic obviously is picking up. Unless it's like a cancellation of just trying to like do a breath mode like sound, which creates the problem of I don't know if Bowser's Inside Story would work with this actually. But we also have a pull rope here. Classic dog toy. Very fun. Oh, just kind of. I'm pretty sure it's possible to lift up a dog too, but maybe I'm misremembering. Yeah, you can just have it. Once the dog bites down this rope, tug it swiftly up into the air to start a tussle for rope supremacy. Interesting. So we went all over all that stuff. There's also the other kinds of dog food. I think there's another stage up from milk and the dog food can. I think there's a premium one as well. For the etc. category, yeah, we found a tissue box. Oh, I didn't mean to throw it like that. Oops. Yeah, some things are too big for the dogs to actually mess with, like the tissue box. We have a dog photo. They don't like this, apparently. I guess they think it's another dog, so they're a little bit nervous about it. The disposable camera. I don't know if she'll do anything about that. And we also have the doll that we had earlier. I did not mean to select the camera a second time. Yeah, you can have the doll. It's actually pretty decently, like, rigged for a DS game. For, like, yeah, an item in a DS game that actually has, like, decent movement. We also have the Moai statue from last time. So yeah, we've had a decent amount of treasure, which has been nice. The other items aren't really good for anything, like play, usually. They're kind of designed more for selling. You have a double of the tennis ball, so we can sell that. I also forgot to point out in the secondhand shop, there's a question mark block. There's an afro, which is a collectible hat item for the Nintendogs. There's like a space shuttle. I think that's also an obtainable item through walks. But we also have just this bulb orb over here. That I'm pretty sure isn't like an actual item in the game. That's just an Easter egg. But it's very clever nonetheless. Mind you, I'm selling duplicates of like accessories, and I'm like, in actuality, if you want more than one dog, this might not be a good thing to actually sell. I also found a Viking hat. I don't think that was on stream. Again, I play Tomodachi Life the same way, where even with like the trash items, I like having one of each on hand for some reason. Just like to have a complete collection, basically. Yeah, if we could enter more of the tournaments a day, I think I would be more inclined to keep going with the game. But because we can only do 3 a day, like, if I do another stream of this game, it'll just be... I'd probably just do the agility trial, to be honest. And just call it there. But that has the problem of, oh wait, that's not enough to, like, fill a 2 to 3 hour stream. Again, there were actually 3 versions of, plus cats too. I thought there were only 2 for some reason. I only could remember Golden Retriever and Toy Poodle. There was a 3rd version. I think it was like French Bulldog or something. I forget, to be honest. Nintendogs was a pretty rare game, I think. I think it might have been a digital only launched first and then physicals later. But again, for some reason, I think it got pulled from the eShop for a little bit. So it just ended up becoming kind of rare for a while. You and Jane have some time to chat. I always go for walks around here at this time of day. Can't mess with the daily routine, know what I mean? That is just like me for real, for real. There's a spiked collar. I don't know if I want to mess with this dog. Again, Sophie's track record of getting along with the other dogs has been pretty bad so far, so I don't imagine this going well. Now, realistically, I do feel like even for puppies, the other dogs should be a lot bigger than this, but I almost think they were kind of scaled more universally just for the sake of, like, time to say goodbye to Chain. Sophie still seems to be curious about Puffy. It's like, I think they just kind of balanced the sizes a little bit more for scale, but again, I feel like a Labrador would be bigger than that, even as a puppy. Or a Corgi would be smaller, that's the other option there. You know, it has been nice though doing slightly shorter Fox Girls Favorites looks at games. Again, went pretty thorough with Animal Crossing, albeit, again, there's not as much content, it's Spot out for a walk. Archie has some well-intentioned advice for you. Smelling someone's tush is basically the standard handshake for most dogs. Humans not so much, you don't say. I just want her to get along with any dog, because she's not having the best luck of that so far. Yeah, she's not having a great time of getting along. I think you have to time it to when they're like sitting down, otherwise they'll aggro like this. So we're just gonna nope out. Doesn't seem to like Spot very much. I wonder why. Shiba Inus are very cute though. I think this was my introduction to Shiba Inus in general. And I do really like those two, they're very cute. Also kind of troublemakers from what I gather, very intelligent, but also very mischievous as a result. Same experience I've had with like one snowshoe cat. Snowshoes are kind of like an offshoot of Siamese, and Siamese are also very smart, and also very much prone to getting into trouble. You got a marble clock. The purple numbers get swallowed by this clock's psychedelic design. Type clock. So, we found one, finally. But it was not the one I was hoping for. So yeah, basically the gameplay loop in general, if you want to set a goal for yourself, which almost feels a little bit arbitrary in a life sim kind of game, the goal is to basically win all the challenges if you want to set like a goal. But even then, from what I was seeing, a lot of speedruns only go up to like beginner cup, basically. I don't know if there are other categories, but they didn't seem as populated. We are once again back at the gymnasium to introduce our final obstacle, the slalom. So she is going very slow here, not hustling at all, just taking her sweet ass time. I realized I'm setting up a thing. I hinted at it recently. I guess I can just take the lid off of it. Something I hinted at recently was doing a way to show off a bunch of childhood games at once, is how I put it. And the idea I had was, I did a BizHawk shuffler a while ago. I kind of want to do another one. Of like, because that was like the 90s to the early 2000s. I kind of want to do one of like 2002 essentially, when I got a Game Boy Advance, to about 2010, which was like close to the end of the DS's run. Like games up through my teen years, basically. Oh wait, why was that a miss? Unfortunately, that will not work for past that point, because there's only there's only so many consoles that are supported by the BizHawk shuffler. So like 3DS isn't, PS2 isn't, GameCube isn't, so that limits it. So this will be like GBA DS mostly. I realized I actually did have a game on DS called Hamster's Life, which I think was actually its own game, but got lumped in with like the Ubisoft Pet series. I think it might have been published by Ubisoft in the West. But I realized like I could put that game on here. But the problem right now is the list is ballooning. So I'm at like 40 games for this BizHawk shuffler, so I might actually divide it into two separate eras. So, something I actually forgot about is they will kick you out of the gym if you've been in there too long. So, it was like, hey, have you got enough training? Let's go back on your walk. So it just kicked me out. So, oops, that was awkward. Anyway, we got a black boot. The stylish boot must have been worn by a beautiful leg. That is oddly specific. But yeah, that was very unfortunate, because I was hoping to practice the slalom a little bit more, because that gives us something to do in another hour of the stream. But yeah, I forgot that they cap you at how much time you can actually train at the gym, or maybe it's an idling thing. Because I thought you could train longer than that, but again, it might just be we were sitting around too long, doing nothing, so they're like, we should move on. Maria has some stern words for you. What's wrong with you? I saw what you did. We pick up after our dogs down here, you ingrate. I must have missed something, because I don't remember not picking up after our dog. I genuinely do not remember missing out on that. So, oops. Very confused by that. There's a whole ass train of events that has occurred here. Yeah, they can sniff each other a little bit. Sometimes they'll end up fighting, sometimes they'll end up playing. You never know, life's a box of chocolates, as they say. Oh, this time I will clean up after our dog, because I'm paying attention. I don't know what I missed last time. You returned home. Sophie seems quite satisfied. Hell yeah. Very cool. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what else we'll be doing on this playthrough. Because again, there's only so much we actually can do, to be fair. Because, like, again, it's kind of just this gameplay loop. We've established the gameplay loop at this point. There's not really any core objectives beyond the trials. So, like, I'm pretty sure there are also speedruns of, like, getting, like, 3 dogs, basically. Again, it is true that, like, most games have speedruns. Even ones you may not expect to have speedruns, they have them. So for example, like, the categories I'm immediately seeing are, like, all beginner contest golds and 3 dogs %. So, like, getting the money to have 3 dogs at a time. And yeah, they only go through the beginner contests for the actual speedrun. It doesn't even look like there are any other, like, side categories for, like, all golds kind of a thing, because that would just be too hard, teaching your dog the tricks you need and hoping that they can perform adequately. So again, even speedrunners don't go that thorough with this game, just like the very quick category of, like, winning all of the beginner medals. What was the other thing we found? The black boot? We just got a high-heeled boot. Our dog is very scared of it. I don't know why she's so scared of this boot. Very peculiar. What's our trainer stats looking like? We got 1,156 points. I'm actually curious. Amateur trainer. I guess that would also be something you could strive for, in theory. Is, like, maxing out, like, unlocks, basically. So, for example, to talk about it a little bit, according to the, like, one wiki I found, you get basically 100 points for, like, winning a contest and going down from there for the other ranks. You can get training points from, like, taking a walk, brushing your dog, befriending other dogs, which we have not had good luck with, to be honest. Perfect timing on feeding. I don't know entirely what that means. Playing with toys, teaching tricks. Fighting with dogs, which isn't good. Overworking your dog, scaring your dog, so the boot's not doing us any favors. The top rank is 99,999 at Nintendogs Master. Needless to say. That is a lot. let's check out interior designs. We can afford none of these. Never mind. I'm pretty sure some you can actually find on walks too. This is 5,000? That's ridiculous. Again, I feel like a modern Nintendogs would have more modularity to the rooms, like picking individual furniture and stuff like that. And not just being like, you know, full rooms. If that makes sense. But again, that's just a theory. In terms of other dogs, I don't think, again, one, we won't have anything new here to see, and two, we wouldn't really be able to afford any, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 500. So I think the different dog breeds do have different prices, to be fair. It's like, that was 535, this is 565. I think corgis were a lot too. 530, actually less, never mind. Shibas are probably a decent amount. 560. I do like the Shibas. I will say, because of the low poly graphics, I kind of feel like it can be hard to tell what certain dogs are supposed to be at times, just because they're not, like, super detailed, basically. Obviously a very specific problem, but one that I kind of think about. I want to say the fields get a little bit more stretched out too. Like you have to run farther for the base level of points. But I also don't remember because I never really devoted much time to the disc or obedience trials. Our current leader, having earned 19 points, is May's pincher Angel. What do you think of Angel, Archie? Wow, that's one friendly dog. I just received a thorough face licking. You may want to think about where that tongue's been, Archie. Now the goal here is to earn at least 15 points. Any dog that can do that will move up to the expert class. Finally, down to our last entrant. Now it's the corgi Sophie. Its trainer is Yuna. What do you think of Sophie, Archie? I'll tell you, Ted, she looks just like me in my younger days. Yeah, so with that, let's begin. Again, always changing the subject, like, moving on. Wow, we got points. That was also not a good start. Not a bad throw at all. Jumping catch. Slow and steady wins the race. We only need 15 points to clear, but then more to actually, like, win. Oh well, we are in very good shape now. 16 points. You only need, like, a few more to actually win the whole thing. Or she can drop. That's fine too. Yeah, she's hustling now, because again, at first, the dogs are not nearly as speedy on the return as later on. Hell yeah, so we won. Again, might as well try to flex on them a bit. Or I can screw up. That wasn't even on her this time. Sadly, anything caught... Wait, that does count! Oh my god. Wow. I genuinely didn't know you could score past the buzzer. Hell yeah. Third place with a total of 17 points, we have Chuck's Beagle Cole. Taking third place with a score of 19 points is May's pincher Angel. And first place, winning today's event with a score of 24 points. Ladies and gentlemen, Yuna's corgi Sophie. Congratulations. $200. I don't know if a ferret would be able to play a disc competition. Just a hunch. Just a theory. But yeah, a lot of dialogue does seem to repeat quite a bit. It's kind of funny if you actually are like watching these playthroughs later. It's like if you look at the in-game time, Nintendogs will be earlier than Animal Crossing because of all the time travel towards the end. Like it feels kind of backwards to have like this now being earlier. But again, Animal Crossing was recorded across like 2 days in real time. So it's very different, obviously. No friend list, obviously no connectivity here. Trainer accomplishments, just to show it off, we do have some level of first place in the base level. And it does record best scores, too. So like 2635, this would be 24 points, and this would be 9.41. Again, it doesn't track beginner, which is kind of why I'm surprised the speedrun only goes through beginner class. Though, of course, you can see it on this screen, actually. Okay, so the question mark is part of it. I was not sure. So yeah, first place in open class. Again, that was kind of my main goal for this stream, so I'm glad we got there. Again, the next tricks we would need are jump and beg, which are like very teetering on advanced tricks to try to teach. So needless to say, we're not really gonna go after that. Again, I think one thing I will want to do is try to go back to the gym and practice up some more.